I'm so tired of micromanaging. How do I train, manage, and lead? I can't find time to be visionary. Head down in the weeds.
Legal team, would you say you're happy in your law firm? I'm in a private paralegal group with paralegals, legal assistants, legal professionals all over the country. The only profession that's not in there are attorneys. And so people are incredibly honest in there. A recent post caused 178 comments and responses in less than 24 hours. Let me read to you the post, the question that was put out there. The title was something like "The Pros and Cons of Being a Paralegal." And then this paralegal went on to write, "Does anybody else work in a hostile environment? And how do you handle it? I took a new position in a small law firm a couple of months ago. I've been practicing as a paralegal in law firms for 15 years. The first day I started, there was somebody out of the office, and the other teammates, including the managing attorney, spoke so incredibly poorly of this person, which was the first burning red flag sign on day one. Fast forward, there is constantly whispering going on and gossiping going on, and I am rarely spoken to or addressed. I get looked up and down when I walk in the office, and we all know what that looks like and feels like. And when I walk by others, they're whispering and then they stop. And guess what? The attorneys do it too. Recently, work started being taken away from me for absolutely no reason, or possibly for minor mistakes. But this is a new area of law for me. And when I talk about other areas I have done that have very similar process and procedures, they cannot relate and tell me that I don't understand this area of law. Did we forget that there's a learning curve in any area of law, even if you have the experience based on this law firm's unique system and process? And I'm the only one that sits behind a little cubicle right in the middle, where I'm in the middle of the pit while everybody else has a nice little office. I don't get it. The stress of not feeling good enough has literally made me sick. I've never been this way. I am very confident in my skills, my knowledge, and my value that I bring to the legal profession, and I have never been treated this way in only the two previous jobs that I've had and the only two law firms that I've worked at. I keep to myself, and I want no part of the drama and gossip. And now the managing partner had a conversation with me that I'm not a team player. Why? Why are we still treating others this way? I'm not talking about young coworkers either. These are seasoned professionals. Thank you for letting me vent." This is the post that was put out there. Literally 178 comments in less than 24 hours. And not going to read every single one of the comments in there, but the common theme was story after story after story of the alarming culture, onboarding, communication, training, emotional intelligence, and I can go on. And it might seem surprising to you that most of it stemmed from the attorney allowing it to go on. This is not surprising to me after 28 years of talking to law firms. But what I do see as a common theme, that there's something, and I don't know why, but that stems with the senior paralegal at the helm of it all. The longest standing employee that was there when we hung our shingle, that's been with me forever, that sat in every position, blah, blah, blah. Law firm leaders, attorneys, paralegals, and law firm owners, this behavior must end. It's time to prioritize a respectful, professional culture, fun culture, inclusive culture that values every team member and fosters growth rather than hostility, especially for the new kids on the bus. If you've looked at any of the employment statistics, if this person, you hired them because they have confidence, you hired them because they have confidence, you hire them because they're professional, guess what? They're going to bounce as quick as they came in if this crap's going out, if this crap's going on. So how to figure out if this is going on in your firm? Or maybe you already know that and you're willing to be honest with yourself and you're ready to create an immediate turnaround. Here's some drive-by coaching. Number one, create an anonymous survey. But hang on, don't just whip this thing out and email it out. Set up the conversation in your next weekly stakeholders meeting, team meeting, daily huddle, whatever it might be. And just say to them, we have new people on the bus, we're growing, blah, blah, blah. And one of the things that your voice matters. We want to hear from you. The answers in the room. You all know where the breakdowns and the breakthrough should be occurring. What we're going to start implementing is in conjunction, hopefully you're doing quarterly retreats. With our quarterly retreats, our quarterly employee growth plans, we're going to start sending out anonymous surveys. You don't have to put your name on here. It's simple 5 questions, blah, blah, blah. If you need help with the questions, email me. I'm happy to share one with you that has worked. But you want to set the conversation, set the stage, and then send it out. Give them a due date, give them a deadline to send it back. Number 2, follow through, right? We are all about following through with clients, with leads, what have you. You all need to walk your talk and actually follow through once you send out this survey. Number 2, compile the anonymous survey, your director of operations, your team lead, whatever terminology resonates with you, and in preparation for your one-day retreat. Send out the compilation before the retreat. And then when you get in the retreat, after you do your State of the Union, your wins over the past quarter, and all the stuff that I preach about quarterly strategic retreats, and before you get into your power projects for the quarter, reviewing last quarter, creating the ones for this quarter, lead with the compilation and have a healthy conversation about that. Number 3, a super easy win to kill a bunch of birds with one stone. Team collaboration, team building, culture fixing, all of that. Create a book club where you're going to pick a book once a month or once a quarter that you all are going to read and review in your weekly stakeholders meeting. 15 minutes for the agenda, for the takeaways, the breakdowns, the breakthroughs, what we want to implement. My recommendation as a team, if you have not read and you are feeling some dysfunction, drama, whatever you want to call it, gossip, start with the book, The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. I'll have the link. And here you get on Audible. You can get it on hard copy book, what have you. And this will help to support with breaking down the dysfunction, the gossip, and everything that we just mentioned. Number 4. Daily huddles. I cannot say enough, and if you've been hanging with me or listening to me, how this has transformed everything in law firms. People, process, production, profitability. Follow the agenda. If you don't have an agenda, reach out. Daily huddles will eliminate any room for toxic behavior. It'll eliminate any bottlenecks. It'll eliminate any breakdowns. It'll create tremendous breakthroughs. And it is the quickest, fastest way to create the turnaround within anything that's not working in the firm, in addition to creating that collaboration and cohesion. Okay, number 5, I already talked about this quickly, but quarterly employee growth plans, not performance plans, not reviews. We want to, language means everything. We all know this in the sales and marketing world. We want to give it a naming convention that empowers people and they are part of it. They're not going to be talked to. So employee growth plans, go back and listen to a past podcast on quarterly employee growth plans if you are unclear of what I'm talking about today. But when you can take this 5-step framework, anonymous survey, set up the conversation, make sure that's part of your quarterly HR operation rotation. Quarterly strategic retreats, again, hardwired, part of your quarterly rotation in your SOPs, blah, blah, blah. Number 3, a quarterly book club. Maybe your team love it. Some firms are like, quarterly is too long. Let's pick a book a month. You all decide. Always easier to edit than create. My recommendation, even if, now that I say this, even if you have read the 5 dysfunctions of a team, even if you have fully implemented the 5 dysfunctions team. Maybe you did that in late 90s, in 2000, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever it might be. Go back to it. Chances are you are not the firm you were. Hopefully you're not the firm you were when you read it. You have more people on the bus. You have people that have left the bus. You have people that are VAs, that are overseas, whatever it might be. That's my recommendation to make it easy on you, that you start with that book regardless. Number 4, daily huddles, unapologetically every single day, same place, same time, team-led, not attorney-led. I actually have one firm that they rotate every single week, a different team leader that is going to lead that, which I really love that idea, and it's been great for them. So they all feel like they're part of the creation of it and not being dictated to. And lastly, employee growth plans. Attorneys, I really hope this is not your law firm that this gal was talking about in this private paralegal group. Team members, I really hope you're not sitting in a law firm that emulates this. If so, it is time to do a complete power of the pause. You hear me talk about the power of the pause all the time in my books, in my podcasts, in my blogs, what have you. We need to stop, drop, and roll. Go back to basics. I just gave you a 5-step framework that you can implement today. If you're an attorney listening to this, delegate and elevate it to a team member. If you're a team member that's listening to it, get time on your attorney's calendar and tell them, let me step up and lead and let me implement this and take this off your plate. And then reach out and let me know after you finish your quarterly retreat, after you have at least 30 days of daily huddles under your belt, after you finish the 5 dysfunctions of a team, I want to hear from you. I want you to take a pause, make note of the firm you were before you started this, and then I want to hear about your transformations and turnaround and about the firm you are now and the firm that you are going to be going forward forever.
I'm so tired of micromanaging. How do I train, manage, and lead? I can't find time to be visionary. Head down in the weeds.